This is the Slasher Club, ladies and gentlemen, and this is our horror movie reviews, where there is no measure when it comes to terror and entertainment. Welcome back to Haddonfield, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to get to the bottom of the Michael Myers mystery. And to help us, we have Tommy Doyle. And I'll be turning it over to Cameron, who will be giving you the agenda and the synopsis.
Yes, thank you. So if you are new to our channel or you followed us for some time, we're slowly evolving into the channel that we desire to become. So here are the subjects that we will be covering in our review of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. I will be providing a short, spoiler-free synopsis. We'll get into spoilers later. Slasher Dude will get into the facts involving the crew, the cast, and even the locations. I will provide the slasher stats. And then once we've got into that, we usually talk about our favorite kills, our funniest moments. And then because there are two versions of this film, there's the theatrical cut and the producer's cut, I will share a few notes from my viewing of the producer's cut, tell you what's different between the two versions. Then we'll go over some other facts and opinions, and then we will rank this. We will give our final thoughts, and then finally rank the film. That is what we have on tap for tonight. Now, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, takes place 6 years after the events of the previous film, which ended with Michael Myers escaping prison with the Man in Black, and Jamie, basically the credits roll and we hear Jamie kind of crying in disbelief. Well, what we come to find out is that Jamie is now a young adult, and she is pregnant, and she has given birth to a baby boy, and she is in a facility that is being run by a group called the Cult of Thorn, and they are basically the ones that have been controlling Michael Myers all of this time. The Cult of Thorn plays heavily into the story of this film. Long story short, Jamie Lloyd is killed by Michael Myers, and the baby is hidden away in a bus depot or train station. Tommy Doyle from the original film is now a grown adult, and by his own detective means finds the child of Jamie Lloyd, teams up with Dr. Loomis and Kara Strode, who is the niece of Laurie Strode, and they are trying to protect Jamie Lloyd's son, as well as Kara Strode's son, Danny, who has also come under the influence of the Cult of Thorn and is also a target of Michael Myers.
Right. And before I get down to the facts, I wonder if any of you noticed the Michael Myers head that I have right next to me. I'm sorry for all you Michael Myers fans. I actually said I'd help, or at least bury, Michael Myers for tonight, since this is a bad movie. So, goodbye, Michael Myers, for tonight. Under the bed you go.
I'm still alive, but I'm very badly injured. I think my legs might be broken, but I'll try to stand up. Oh! Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, guys, but I kinda gotta agree that this was kind of a bad movie. But on to the facts. We have director Joe Chappelle. We have producer Paul Freeman. Written by David Ferrandis. Music by Alan Howarth. Cinematography by Bill Dixon. We have 3909 Airport Road, Ogden, Utah. Ogden Hinckley Airport, which is the bus station where the child is found. We have 891 Weaver Lane, Layton, Utah, which is Michael Myers Kills Jamie. We have 1950, which is Monroe Boulevard, Ogden, Utah, Ogden City School District, also known as Hanfield JC. 1926, Lincoln Street, Salt Lake City, Utah, which is the Strode House. Again, they had to change the Strode House for some odd reason. We have 956 Ramona Ave, Salt Lake City, Utah, which is the Blankenship House. We have 2301 Bellevue Ave, Los Angeles, California, which is Smith's Grove Sanitarium entrance and Dr. Loomis's house. We have 6900 South Big Cottonwood Canyon Road, Cottonwood Heights, Utah, Dr. Loomis's house, and Smith's Grove Ritual. We have Donald Pleasance back for his final act as Dr. Sam Loomis. We have Paul Rudd. Yay! We have Ant-Man playing Tommy Doyle. We have Marianne Hagen, who is Cara Strode. We have Devin Gardner as Danny Strode. George P. Wilbert as Michael Myers. In the original, surprising, we have a Michael Myers coming back. So maybe the curse can be lifted. We have Mitch Ryan as Dr. Terrence Wynn, also known as the Man in Black. We have J.C. Brandy as Jamie Lloyd, the older, less act-enthused Jamie Lloyd. We have Maria O'Brien as Beth, Kevin Bogert as Tim Strode, and on to the gore score.
Blaster sets. Sorry. Folks, we have two shows we do a week, and we have the Paranormal Club that has the gore score and the Slasher Club that has the slasher sets. Anyways, it's very easy to get those two mixed up, but we've got a good number of kills in this film. We've got, starting from the top, 5 people butchered. We have 2 impalements. We have 2 people stabbed. We have 1 neck snap, 1 person struck by an axe, 1 person impaled, electrocuted, and their head exploded. We have 1 throat slit, 1 head crushed, for a total of 14 kills.
Yeah, seems like they got a little less in this movie, and surprisingly, no dogs died.
Yeah, no dead dogs, but even with 14 kills, which may seem like a lower amount compared to the sequels, I feel like there was a decent amount of blood and guts in this film. Maybe less guts. There was a good amount of kills, I think. I don't know. I know we're going to differ on our opinions of this film, but I'll just admit it early on. I like this film. When we get into my thoughts on the producer's cut, I'll have some more things to share. But for the theatrical cut, I actually really liked it. But I'll talk about more of that when we get to our actual opinions of the film. But were there any kills that stood out to you?
As I was about to say, on to the favorite kills. Mine? Jamie Lloyd gets thrashed by a corn thrasher. I mean, we don't get to see the final outcome of the corn thrasher just tearing away at her insides, but we do get to see her get slammed onto it. I mean, comparing the first 2 kills, it basically felt like we were watching Freddy vs. Jason, where Freebird gets thrown into the shelf, the broken shelf. I mean, I'm pretty sure this came out way before that, but still.
Yeah, that scene is actually, I don't like that they killed Jamie Lloyd. That's just one of my little nitpicks about this film.
But you gotta feel, unlike
Well done.
unlike Rachel, they actually did her well. I mean, Rachel, they just stabbed with a pair of scissors. Here, they literally brutalized Jamie Lloyd as a huge send-out.
Well, okay, but what made the kill even better was Jamie reaching her hands out because she knows that Michael Myers is, her uncle, right? Yeah.
But she also knows he's human.
She's still reaching out her hands to him, and he reaches his hands out too, and you think there's going to be like this touching moment, and then he just shoves her further on the thing that she's impaled on. And so it's like it just shows you how like soulless Michael Myers is. Like she knew she was kind of reaching out to him for like just to like let her to at least kind of have a peaceful moment as she dies, and he shoves her further on and then presses the ignition for the thrasher. It's just like, man, you have a heart like a lump of coal, man.
Mm. But what about you?
For the theatricality of it, I liked the death of Mr. Strode. I mean, he gets impaled by I think it's like a knife that Michael Myers stabs into him that hits the breaker box. He gets electrocuted, his skin starts bubbling, and then his head explodes. I mean, 3 things before he dies. It's rare for a Halloween film for a person to suffer so much before they die.
No offense, but I kind of felt it was a little cheap, especially with the head exploding. I mean, I know these movies aren't really known for their realism realism, but come on, I'm pretty sure we all know a head wouldn't explode after it's been electrocuted.
Well, I think you mentioned it. Like, this a good way to describe the Curse of Michael Myers is like, what if somebody that made Friday the 13th made a Halloween film? Like, I think that's a good way of putting what this film is like. There's a lot of hallmarks of like a Friday the 13th film in this film, So, you have the over the top kills as one part. So.
Right, on to my least favorite kill. Guy gets pushed through bars. I mean, I'm losing it. But basically, you see a guy, the gate is closed on him, and Michael Myers just decides, oh, maybe there's no key, let me use this guy as a basic battering ram, so he pushes him onto the door. You're watching as his face is getting, I guess, brutalized by the door, and
that's the guy I considered the head crush. That's what I considered the head crush. I didn't know how else to describe it. Yeah, he just, Michael Myers just basically pushing the guy's face into the bars until his head basically kind of like crushes up a little bit.
I just felt this was so bad. I mean, I could have put every machete and knife kill in this movie, but no. I decided to go easy and just give it to Head Crush guy, which, I mean, we don't even see anything as Michael Myers is stepping onto the door. Not even like a squish of blood or something like that. No. I mean, it's like it was basically just a dummy laying under the door. No feelings. Nothing. I mean...
Well, I have a question for you. What did you think about the ending? Because as we're getting into my thoughts on the producer's cut, which I'll mention in a little bit. The endings actually are very different, but in the ending for the theatrical cut, it ends with Tommy Doyle, what do you call it, injecting Michael Myers with all this corrosive material that basically kind of liquefies Michael Myers to some degree, and he starts beating on him with a pipe until, like, Michael Myers starts oozing out of his mask, and then that's all good, and then Tommy Doyle and the survivors drive off, and Dr. Loomis is like, oh, I've got some unfinished business, and we hear Dr. Loomis screaming. We don't know what's going on. We just see that the mask is still there and that Michael Myers is possibly still alive, but it's such an open-ended ending, and unfortunately, if you only follow the theatrical cut, you'll never get any answers. Like, what did you think of the ending?
I mean, actually, you're kind of wrong on that being a corrosive material. That was actually tranquilizer, so he was a bit off his step. But, I mean, if Donald Pleasance was still alive and planned to do a 7th movie, I mean, yeah, that would have been a good ending, but I mean, they already knew he was dead. They basically dedicated the movie to him, which is kind of sad. I mean, yeah, it was his final film, but couldn't you have done something? Had a different movie dedicated to him, but back to the kill. Back to the ending. I just feel Dr. Loomis was pretty dumb. I mean, I like that Michael Myers was finally getting taken down a peg by Tommy Doyle, a kid that he messed with in the original movie, but it just wasn't, the ending wasn't really for me. I mean, again, I loved Michael Myers getting beaten up. No offense to all you Michael Myers fans out there, but finally a guy can fight against Michael Myers and survive. But here we are, them leaving, and then all we're left with is Dr. Loomis screaming out in terror, and that's it. We don't know what happened to him. We are never going to know what happened to him because there was never a sequel to that one, but
this is a perfect segue. Are you ready to hear how the unrated producer's cut is different from the theatrical cut?
Yes, please!
Alright, I'm going to have to send you a copy of the producer's cut so you can see it for yourself and judge whether you prefer this version over the other. There's essentially 45 minutes film that's either replaced. There's new footage, and the storyline changes rather drastically. Overall, the kills are not as gory. Like, for instance, Mr. Strode, his head does not explode. He's not electrocuted. He just gets stabbed. I think actually, yes, he does get maybe mildly electrocuted, but he dies from the stab wound, not from the electrocution. So all the kills are toned down. The major focus of the unrated producer's cut is Dr. Loomis, Tommy Doyle, and there's more of a focus on the Cult of Thorn and the Ruins. Now, getting into the specifics, the theatrical cut opened with a narration by Tommy Doyle. The producer's cut opens with a narration by Dr. Loomis, and there are different things being spoken about. In the theatrical cut, Tommy Doyle has this great line that I'll read. If there's one thing I know you can't control, or if there's one thing I know you can't control evil, you can lock it up, you can burn it and bury it, and pray that it dies, but it never will. It just rests a while. Dr. Loomis's narration is a little bit different, but it focuses more on Michael Myers being the embodiment of the evil, not just evil in general. Also, in the producer's cut, Jamie does not die after her encounter with Michael Myers. She's stabbed, not impaled. She is taken to the hospital. She still has her baby stashed at the depot. Tommy Doyle finds her there. But the reason why Dr. Loomis was at the hospital when Tommy Doyle went there was because he was looking after Jamie Lloyd, who was in the hospital. So it explains why Dr. Loomis was there to begin with. There are some scenes with Dr. Loomis, I believe, at Smith Grove trying to get files on Michael Myers. There is, again, more scenes with Dr. Loomis. They make specific mention that Jamie and Michael Myers were abducted after Halloween 5, and they were basically held hostage by the Cult of Thorn. They also mention in the producer's cut that, unfortunately, you're not going to like this part, that the father of Jamie Lloyd's baby is Michael Myers.
I know, I heard that rumor.
Jamie is killed eventually by the Man in Black, Dr. Wynn, by a silenced gunshot in the hospital. The ending is different, and there are some other changes, but I'm mentioning the biggest ones that I can recall. The difference in the ending is that Dr. Loomis, well, first off, Tommy stops Michael Myers not with tranquilizers and a beatdown. He throws runes at Michael Myers, and they stop him. So it basically cancels out whatever magic is holding Michael Myers. And then, of course, Tommy and Kara and the baby and Danny go away. Dr. Loomis says he has unfinished business. He goes back to the hospital, back inside to check on the body of Michael Myers. And apparently, in between the time that Tommy Doyle and everybody left and Dr. Loomis went back, somewhere in between that time, Michael Myers regained his functions and he switched places with Dr. Wynn. So when Dr. Loomis removes the mask, it's Dr. Wynn in the jumpsuit. And basically, the movie ends with Michael Myers in the Man in Black outfit, on the run, essentially. And then Dr. Wynn grabs Dr. Loomis and says, "It's your game now." And the Cult of Thorn symbol is etched into the wrist of Dr. Loomis. So now it's his job to control Michael Myers, which is really, pardon my French, I don't swear, but what a shitty thing to do to Dr. Loomis. Like, he was already retired, and what does Dr. Wynn do? He says, "Oh, I want you to head Smith Grove." Remember in the beginning of the movie, he says, "I want you to be the head of Smith Grove." That was him grooming Dr. Loomis to take over the Cult of Thorn, which Dr. Loomis would never do that. He would never do it. But now, so the ending gives you an answer, but it's not a good answer. Like, basically, Michael Myers is on the run and free, and Dr. Loomis is marked with the Cult of Thorn, and now has to basically control Michael Myers. He has to control the Cult of Thorn now.
I mean, you say it's bad, but no offense, I already basically knew about the production ending, but, I mean, they basically have a whole kind of tab for those who read Wikipedia. But I kind of think it gave us more closure than just the scream at the end. I mean, I kind of find it stupid, that whole throwing a bunch of vines at Michael Myers and making it seem like he's lost all magic, but
Well, I think the simplest way for me to describe it is, I think the theatrical cut was the more fun version of the film. What I mean by that is it was more entertaining. The kills were, over the top and bloody. The film was, I guess, if you want to call it, scarier. It was just made for a more, it was more entertaining, but the producer's cut is, if you want answers and a more fleshed out story, go with the producer's cut. So I actually think that both versions offer different things. It'd be interesting to see if they could somehow create like an ultimate cut where they kind of combine what makes, like include the gory kills with the producer's cut. Like work things in a little bit, maybe, because I think both of them are good, but as you mentioned, they also ultimately fail too because this is the last film with the Cult of Thorn. From here, they might move on to Halloween H2O, and then it's not long before they reboot the series.
Well, if you think about it, there's 3 versions. There's if you want to watch 1 through 6, then there's if you want to watch 1, 2, and then H2O, and then Resurrection, and then there's the reboot. So there's 3 ways you can go about this. I mean, if you hate the original series that badly, you can go watch the H2O and Resurrection, but if you hate both so much, you can go watch the reboots.
Well, and then the crazy thing is we're going to have a 4th timeline with the new Halloween film, because that disregards all the sequels and rewrites essentially the second film to be 40 years later instead of, the hospital. So, but I would have liked to have seen a sequel to either film, whether it was the theatrical cut or the producer's cut. I would just have liked to have seen the series end with a little bit of finality. I really feel bad for Dr. Loomis, like getting burdened with the Cult of Thorn and stuff like that. And I don't know. It would like, for instance, in the Friday the 13th series, we have the final Friday where Jason does get killed. It would have been nice to see Paul Rudd return as Tommy Doyle again, get the surviving crew back one more time. Do a part 7, and it could be the final Halloween, and then obviously you do H2O later to kind of reboot the series a little bit. But I would have liked to have seen a Halloween 7. I actually like the inclusion of the magic. I don't think it's the best part of Halloween, but it made for some interesting stuff. I mean, as we mentioned in our previous reviews, the druids and cult magic has its fingers throughout the whole series. I mean, Season of the Witch was dealing with, druids and cult magic, and Halloween 2, we hear the first about Sam Hain. So magic has always had its part in this series, but it is better when the magic is kind of left in the background and not at the forefront.
Yeah, you gotta think, I'm pretty sure, I kind of want to say I'm giving the filmmakers and the studio a little too much credit, but I'm pretty sure they finally heard us and decided, I think we're done with the Cult of Thorns. We've done it to death. We've done the whole magic bullshit to death. I think we should just stop it here. I mean, I don't even think they knew it was a bad movie, but seriously, thank God. No offense, I would have liked to see a 7th film to at least do the series a bit justice, but 6 was just terrible compared to the rest. I mean, I hate Season of the Witch, but this went way lower. Different drafts. Out of 10 drafts, they really came up with this?
I don't know. I think I'm going to be one of those This film and Resurrection, you're going to surprisingly get a defender out of me, because I know this film and Resurrection are very much hated. But hey, I like Season of the Witch, and it's lesser liked as well. But I was surprised at how much I get that the film is a mess. I do get that, but I just found so much stuff that I liked about it. I liked the opening of the film. I liked, the nurse looking around, and then you see Michael Myers coming out of the shadows. There's such excellent use of shadows in this film. And you know what's great is we see all of the kills. There's no off-screen kills. We get every single kill, and we also get the bodies displayed later of the couple. I forgot their names, Tim and his girlfriend. I really liked it. But yeah, it's a mess of a film. But I don't know. I like this more than Part 5. I'm not sure if I liked it more than Part 4, but I definitely liked it more than Part 5. I liked Paul Rudd's version of Tommy Doyle. You could tell that he was slightly unhinged, but not as a bad guy. Like, you could tell, like, the events of the original Halloween, like, really, like, scarred him, and you could tell that he was both fascinated by Michael Myers and terrified by Michael Myers. So when you see him kind of go toe to toe against Michael Myers, it's kind of like a reconciliation. Like, he's finally facing his fears. So again, there's just so much that I liked about this film, and if I could change a couple of things, I would have kept Jamie Lloyd alive, and maybe hospitalized. That's fine. She doesn't have to be the main character. I like Tommy Doyle as the main character, but they shouldn't have killed her off. And second, they should have given Dr. Loomis a better ending, like, something better. Whether, he died to save Tommy and Tara, that's fine, but just something that's a little bit more concrete and just a better send-off. Donald Pleasance gave such great performances in all of the films, and, maybe it's not always Academy Award-winning material, but you can tell, like, he really liked being Dr. Loomis, and he really he really reached in deep. So.
Right. Actually, I felt the kills were a little lacking. I mean, my views on the machete kills. I mean, it literally felt like we were watching a Jason Voorhees movie, but more hack and slash, just watching a bunch of people get slashed by a machete, and I didn't really like it. I mean, I'm looking down the kill list as I'm trying to write this, and all I see was, slashed by machete, slashed by machete, slashed by machete, head cut by machete, slashed by machete. I mean, enough! We don't need all these machete kills, and then I'm sorry, but I did not like Tim and Beth's death. I feel Michael Myers lost an opportunity with trying to kill Tim in the shower. I mean, he just hands him a towel, and it could have gone a lot better. I mean, kill him with the faucet, slam his head into it, or break something over his head. Try and kill him with something in the bathroom. Don't just let him get it. I mean, it was just a missed kill. And then we have the mask, which I kind of liked. It was handcrafted by John Butchler, based on the Halloween 4 poster, which I kind of liked. They actually worked it well into the movie. It wasn't as chalky as 4 and as 5. We've given this movie enough grief. We're basically killing a dead goat, or dead horse, as a lot of you would say in this world. I just wanted to try something new, but what would you rate this?
For me personally, I would rate this higher than Part 5. So I would give this like a 6.5. But yeah, I'm guessing you might have a different rating for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron is our conscience of this whole series, but I'm not going to listen to the conscience. I am no Pinocchio. I am literally going to say this deserved. I mean, it's not. I don't hate it as much as the third film, so a 4. It's one ahead of the third film, but it deserves a 4 in my book. Again, it's an unfinished film. It did not. I mean, it didn't even deserve the ranking it got in theaters by the critics. It deserved something way less. It just... I cannot look at this movie. I was a little underwhelmed as I was watching it for the second time. I haven't watched it in a while since my whole Michael Myers marathon idea. But this just... it's terrible. It did not do it for me. I mean, I'd even rather watch Resurrection than watch this. Curse of Michael Myers, my ass. It was a shitty way to end it. The only thing really good was, sorry, but Jamie Lloyd's death and just Michael Myers getting the shit beat out of him in this movie, because this movie just did not do him justice. So basically, I see it as Tommy Doyle beating the shit out of this series in that scene. Just, again, my rank is 4. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, and we'll see you guys for hopefully a better film, Annabelle Creation, on Wednesday. We'll be doing Halloween H2O on Monday, and I'm praying it's way better than this. I can't.
Alright. Lay off him now. He's dead. You killed him.
We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good night. Try and stay away from this movie. It is terrible. Please don't. Good night, goodbye, and God help your soul.